I unlocked my phone under the table and airdropped him one photo. That's all it took. One picture, and my brother's face went from smug to corpse white in about 3 seconds. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. But let me back up. The restaurant was one of those places where the napkins cost more than my lunch. Soft lighting, exposed brick, waiters who introduced themselves like they were auditioning for something. Emily had picked it. She always picked places like this when she wanted to feel important. "Ryan," she said, reaching across the table to touch my hand. Her fingers were cold. "There's something Mark and I need to tell you." My brother sat beside her, wearing that same expression he'd had since we were kids, the one that said he'd already won whatever game we were playing. Mark was 38, 3 years older than me, and he'd spent every single one of those years reminding me of it. Real estate developer. 6 figures. Porsche in the driveway. I was a graphic designer. I drove a Honda. "We wanted to do this right," Emily continued. She was 32, blonde, the kind of pretty that knew it. Over dinner, like adults. I didn't say anything, just watched her. "Mark and I have been seeing each other," she said, "for the past 4 months, and we're engaged." She showed me the ring. Diamond. Probably cost more than my car. The waiter appeared with champagne nobody had ordered. "I know this is hard," Mark said. His voice had that practiced sympathy rich people use when they're pretending to care. "But Emily and we just connected. You understand, right? These things happen." I looked at my wife. Ex-wife, I guess, though the papers weren't signed yet. "Say something," she said. So I did. I picked up my phone, found the photo I'd been saving, and airdropped it to Mark's iPhone. His phone buzzed. He glanced down, tapped the screen. Then he stood up so fast his chair screeched against the floor. His face had gone completely gray. "Where did you—" he started. But he didn't finish. He just walked out. Straight through the restaurant, past the exposed brick and the expensive napkins, out into the parking lot. Emily stared after him, then turned to me. "Ryan, what did you send him?" I took a sip of the champagne. It tasted like expensive regret. "Honesty," I said. The photo was simple. Emily and her boss, James Peterson, outside the Marriott bar on 5th Street, 2 nights ago, his hand on her lower back, her mouth on his. I'd taken it from across the street with my telephoto lens, the one I used for design work. Clean shot. No ambiguity. See, Emily thought she was clever. 4 months of sneaking around with Mark, sure, but she'd been sleeping with Peterson for 6. I'd known about Peterson for 5. I'm a designer. I noticed things, details, the way her schedule changed, how she started wearing perfume to work, the new lingerie that never quite made it to our bedroom. I could have confronted her in month 1. Screamed, cried, thrown things. That's what she expected. That's what she could have handled. Instead, I watched, documented, waited. The selfie she sent me from her team meeting 3 months back. I'd enhanced the reflection in the window behind her. You could see Peterson's hand on her shoulder. When I ran a reverse image search on the background, it matched a boutique hotel in Brooklyn, not her office. After that, I followed her. Not every time. Just enough. The Marriott photo was my insurance policy. I never planned to use it. Then she invited me to dinner to announce her engagement to my brother, and suddenly, insurance felt like justice. My phone buzzed around midnight. Texts from Emily. "Where are you?" "We need to talk." "Ryan, answer me." Then she showed up at my apartment. I heard her before I saw her, heels clicking in the hallway, then pounding on the door. "You ruined everything!" she screamed through the wood. "Do you hear me? You ruined everything!" I sat on the couch with my whiskey and didn't move. She had keys, but I'd changed the locks that morning. Amazing what you can get done when you take a sick day. "Ryan, please, Let me in! Her voice cracked. Mascara was probably running. She always cried pretty, even when it was real. I took another drink and turned up the volume on the TV. Eventually, she left. Mark didn't call, didn't text, just went completely dark. Emily, on the other hand, wouldn't stop. She called from different numbers, showed up at my office, sent emails with subject lines like, "We need to talk," and "You owe me an explanation." I didn't owe her anything. On day 3, she cornered me in the parking lot outside my building. It was raining, that thin Seattle drizzle that soaks through everything. "Why?" she said. She'd lost weight. Looked smaller somehow. "Why would you do this?" "Do what?" I asked. I was loading groceries into my trunk. "Send that picture. Ruin my life." "I didn't ruin your life, Emily. You made choices. I just provided documentation." She grabbed my arm. Her nails dug in. "Mark won't return my calls. His family won't talk to me. Do you know what you've done?" I pulled my arm back gently. "I know exactly what I've done. The question is, do you?" "This is cruel," she said. "You're being cruel." "Cruel would have been letting you marry my brother while you were still sleeping with your boss," I said. "This is just honest." Her face went pale. "How did you—" "February," I said. "That's when it started with Peterson, right? 6 months ago. Mark was just the exit strategy, something respectable to tell people." She stepped back. Rain plastered her hair to her face. "You were following me?" "I'm a designer, Emily. I notice when colors don't match." She turned and ran back to her car, a silver BMW. Peterson had bought it for her in March. I knew because I'd seen the registration. That evening, Peterson himself showed up at my building. He was 43, graying at the temples, wearing an expensive suit that didn't hide the panic in his eyes. "We need to talk," he said. "No, we don't." "My wife saw the photo. She's filing for divorce." "Congratulations." He grabbed my jacket. "You think this is funny? You think ruining people's lives is funny?" I didn't move, just looked at his hand on my jacket, then at his face. "Let go," I said. Quiet. Calm. He did. "Your wife saw the truth," I said. "That's not ruining a life. That's revealing what was already ruined. Now get out of my building." He left. I went upstairs and microwaved dinner. The next morning, Emily lost her job. Peterson's wife had called the company's HR department. Apparently, workplace affairs violated policy, especially when one party supervised the other. Emily texted me, "This is your fault." I didn't respond. My mother called on Saturday. "Ryan, honey, are you okay?" "I'm fine, Mom. Mark told me what happened. Well, some of it. He's not talking much." "That sounds like Mark." Silence on the line. Then, "He's ashamed." "He should be." "Ryan." "Mom, he was engaged to my wife." "My wife. And you want me to what, forgive him? Feel bad he's ashamed?" More silence. "I just want my boys to be okay." "Then talk to your other boy. I'm fine." I hung up. Felt bad about it for maybe 10 seconds. Sunday afternoon, Mark finally sent a text. "She lied to both of us. Don't contact me for a while." I stared at the message for a long time. Part of me wanted to respond, to say something cutting, something that would hurt. But Mark already hurt. I could hear it in those 8 words, so I deleted the text and didn't reply. Growing up, Mark was the golden child. Star athlete, straight A's, full ride to college. I was the weird kid with the sketchbook, the one teachers said had potential in that way that meant they didn't expect much. Mark got the attention. I got the leftovers. Now the golden boy was silent, and I controlled the story. Funny how life works. Monday evening, someone knocked on my door. Soft, almost hesitant. I checked the peephole. Emily, holding 2 suitcases. I opened the door halfway, kept the chain on. "I'm pregnant," she said. I waited. "It's yours, Ryan. I'm 8 weeks. We can fix this. We can… Stop. She blinked. What? I got a text from Peterson's wife this morning, I said. She wanted to apologize for her husband's behavior. Said she knew Emily was sleeping with him until at least 2 weeks ago. Emily's face went slack. 8 weeks pregnant, I continued. That's mid-August conception. You were with Peterson in August. I have hotel receipts, Emily. I have everything. Ryan, the math doesn't work. You know it. I know it. And if you try to put my name on a birth certificate, I'll drag every receipt, every photo, every piece of evidence into court. She dropped the suitcases. Please. I have nowhere to go. That's not my problem. You're really going to do this? Just throw me away? I'm not throwing you away, I said. You threw yourself away months ago. I'm just declining to catch you. She started crying. Real tears this time, not the pretty kind. You always said honesty matters, I told her. Consider this your final lesson. I closed the door, heard her suitcases dragging down the hall. 30 minutes later, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Ryan Hale? A woman's voice. Who's asking? This is Detective Sarah Mitchell, Seattle PD. I'm calling about Emily Hale. She's filed a harassment complaint against you. I laughed. Couldn't help it. Something funny, Mr. Hale? No, detective. Just predictable. What exactly am I being accused of? She claims you've been stalking her, taking unauthorized photographs, threatening her employment. I have documentation of everything, I said. Time-stamped photos, text messages, emails. I also have proof she committed adultery with 2 different men, one being my brother. Would you like copies? Silence on the line. I'll need you to come down to the station, she said finally. When? Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. I'll be there. I hung up and poured another drink. Emily was getting desperate. That made her dangerous. But I'd been planning for this too. I showed up at the police station at 8:45 with a lawyer and a flash drive containing 6 months of evidence. Photos, receipts, bank statements, text messages, everything organized by date, cross-referenced, annotated. Detective Mitchell looked tired. Mr. Hale, thank you for coming in. Of course. Your wife, ex-wife. Your ex-wife claims you've been harassing her. She says you sent intimate photos of her to multiple people without consent. I sent one photo to one person, I said. My brother. The man she was cheating on me with. The photo showed her with a different man, her boss, also someone she was cheating with. I slid the flash drive across the table. Everything's on there. 6 months of evidence, hotel receipts in her name, credit card statements, text messages she sent me lying about her location, photos I took in public spaces where there's no expectation of privacy. Mitchell picked up the flash drive. You documented everything. I'm a designer, details matter. She plugged it into her computer, spent 20 minutes clicking through files. Her expression never changed. Finally, she looked up. Mr. Hale, did you at any point threaten Mrs. Hale? No. Did you contact her employer? No. Her lover's wife did that. Did you share any intimate photos of Mrs. Hale? The photo I sent my brother was taken in public. She was fully clothed. There's nothing intimate about it except the context. Mitchell nodded slowly. I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. Hale. This complaint isn't going anywhere. You haven't broken any laws. What you've done is, well, it's thorough. Maybe obsessive, but not illegal. Thank you, Detective. However, she continued, I'd recommend you file a restraining order. Mrs. Hale showed up at your workplace twice this week. That could escalate. I hadn't known about the workplace visits. Building security must have stopped her. I'll consider it, I said. One more thing, Mitchell said. She leaned back in her chair. Off the record? I've been doing this job for 15 years. I've seen a lot of messy divorces. Most people, when they get cheated on, they lash out, break things, make scenes. You didn't do that. No. You waited, collected evidence, struck at the exact right moment to cause maximum damage. I didn't say anything. That's not revenge, she said. That's warfare, and you won. I stood up. Is that all, Detective? Yes, you're free to go. My lawyer and I walked out together. He was young, expensive, and hadn't needed to say a single word. Well, he said, that went well. It was always going to. You really documented everything? Everything, he laughed. Remind me not to piss you off. The storm hit that night. Real Seattle weather, wind, rain, thunder that shook the windows. Around 11 p.m., someone started pounding on my door. You ruined everything. Please, let me in. Emily's voice, raw and desperate. I sat on the couch, phone in my hand, and didn't move. Through the peephole, I could see her, hair soaked, makeup running, barefoot. She must have lost her shoes somewhere. Bang, bang, bang. Ryan, please! I counted to 60. Then I unlocked the door and opened it halfway. She tried to push past me. I stepped into the gap. No! Ryan, please, I'm sorry, I'll do anything. You ruined everything, Emily, not me. You did. I just showed the truth. She collapsed against the doorframe, sobbing. I loved you. I did. I got confused. I made mistakes. You made choices, I said. And choices have consequences. I pulled an envelope from my back pocket, set it on the floor beside her. Divorce papers. Already signed by me. You have 30 days to sign and return them. If you don't, I file for divorce anyway, and all that evidence goes to the judge. Your choice. Ryan, there's also a restraining order in there. Temporary for now. If you violate it, it becomes permanent. That means no contact, no calls, no showing up at my apartment or my office, no more scenes. Her face crumpled. You can't do this. I already did. The police have copies of everything, Emily. Detective Mitchell was very sympathetic to my situation. You went to the police? You went to the police, I said. I just brought better documentation. Thunder cracked outside. Rain hammered the windows. I have nothing left, she whispered. No job, no money, nowhere to go. You have Peterson's baby, I said. Maybe he'll take you in, maybe he won't. Either way, that's not my problem anymore. I never meant to hurt you. I looked at her, really looked, mascara running, hair plastered to her skull, barefoot and shaking. 6 months ago, I would have done anything for this woman, anything. Now, I felt nothing. Yes, you did, I said. You just didn't mean to get caught. I stepped back and closed the door, locked it, put the chain on. She stayed there for a while, crying. Then I heard other voices, the building manager, maybe a neighbor. Eventually, the hallway went quiet. I walked to the window, watched a taxi pull up, watched Emily climb in, still barefoot, clutching the envelope to her chest. The taxi pulled away. Taillights disappeared into the rain. I picked up my phone, deleted her number, blocked her on everything. Calls, texts, email, social media, removed her from my emergency contacts, deleted every photo. 6 months of evidence I kept, everything else gone. Then I poured another whiskey and sat in the dark. The rain kept falling. Thunder rolled somewhere over the sound. Mark would recover. He always did. Golden boys bounce back. Emily would find someone else. Pretty women always do. Peterson would pay child support and try to salvage his career. And me? I'd keep designing, keep noticing details, keep being the quiet one. Except now, when people asked about my divorce, I wouldn't stay quiet. I'd tell them the truth, all of it. I raised my glass to the window, to the storm, to the empty apartment that finally felt like mine again. Guess she didn't expect honesty to travel faster than Bluetooth, I said to no one. Outside, lightning split the sky. Inside, I finally felt clean.